and welcome back to Lucama Pajama Storytime. I'm Miss Pam, and I hope you've been enjoying your summer. I do hope that you've had an opportunity to visit us for our summer reading program, which is our Adventure Begins at the Library. So in light of that theme, I thought we'd do some stories about camping. And this week, if you're able to come into the library, we have a camp adventure bag kind of themed craft. So we invite you to come and see us. But our first book that we're going to enjoy today is called PJ Funnybone Camps Out. And this is by Marilyn Sadler. PJ Funnybone camps out. Let's find out what happens when he goes camping. PJ Funnybone had 3 best friends. One day, PJ said, "Let's go camping." PJ packed a tent. Richie packed 4 sleeping bags. Buzz packed a flashlight. And Potts packed the food. "Can Donna Duck and I come too?" asked PJ's little sister, Honey Bunny. "No," said PJ. "Camping is not for girls." Then PJ and his friends set out. They hiked through the deep woods. They hiked across a wide river. They even climbed a high mountain. Richie was tired. He let go of his wagon. Bump, bump, bump. 4 sleeping bags bounced down the mountain. Splash, splash, splash. 3 sleeping bags floated down the river. "Camping is hard work," they all said. "Camping is not for girls." "Let's camp here," said PJ. They all pitched the tent. "I'm hungry," said Buzz. "I'm hungry," said Richie. "I'm hungry too," said PJ. Potts was not hungry. He had eaten all the food. Soon it got dark. PJ told a ghost story. It was such a good ghost story that PJ scared himself. "It's a good thing the girls aren't here," he said. Then they heard a noise. Boo! It sounded like a ghost. PJ and his friends looked out of the tent. Buzz shined his flashlight over the rocks. He shined it over by the trees. He shined it over by 2 ghosts standing. Ghosts! What in the world? PJ and his friends jumped up so fast they knocked down their tent. The flashlight rolled away. PJ and his friends ran down the high mountain. They splashed across the wide river. They ran through the deep woods. They ran all the way to PJ's house. "PJ Funnybone," said his mother. "What happened?" "Our tent fell down," said PJ. "Our sleeping bags floated down the river," said Richie. "My flashlight got lost," said Buzz. "We ran out of food," said Potts. But Honey Bunny and Donna, they knew the truth. Do you? Did you figure out what happened? Remember, they kept saying camping was not for girls, but I think Honey Bunny and Donna were the 2 little ghosts that we saw scaring those guys. So PJ and Funny Bunny camps out is quite funny when you think about it. And anyone can go camping, boys or girls. And I think PJ and his friends found out, didn't they? Well, now let's go camping with Mr. Silly Pants. Mr. Silly Pants, my goodness. And this was written by M.K. Brown. Let's go camping with Mr. Silly Pants. Let's see what he's doing on the campsite. This is the morning of the big camping trip. Too bad Mr. Silly Pants overslept. 10:30? Kind of late. I'm late. I'm late. I'm late. I'm late. I'm late. I was supposed to be there at 7 o'clock. Now I'm late. What if they left without me? And the sign says, "Gone camping. Be back tomorrow." Oh no. Now what should I do? I don't want to go home. I want to go camping with everyone else. I've got my lunch all packed and my sleeping bag and everything. I'll follow their footprints. This will be easy. Hello, campers. Wait for me. Good morning, woodpeckers. Hello, butterflies. Whoops. Where are the footprints? I don't see any trail at all. Yoo-hoo! Okay, Silly Pants, it's time to think. Think, 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 think. I think I'm lost. When you're lost, you shouldn't run in circles. You should calm down, relax, don't panic, eat something. I just hope I don't have to spend the night here all by myself. Maybe I'll have a sandwich. I hope there's no bears. I hope there's no skunks. I'll just have one more pickle. I always feel better after a sandwich and a pickle and a cookie and some hot chocolate. I'll rest here for a minute, then I'll decide what to do. I hope there are no mooses or porcupines. Well, I've eaten, so I should feel better. My, what a lovely day in the forest. And what a charming cottage. I wonder who lives here. Hello? Is anyone home? No one's there. Well, I'll just have a sandwich. Oh my, looks like he might be in the house that belonged to the bear family. Wait a minute, stop. I believe I'm having a very ridiculous dream. This can't be true. But what a beautiful view. I can see for miles and miles and miles. I can nothing but trees. And now it's getting really dark. Mr. Silly Pants still hasn't found the people he was going on the hike with. Will I have to spend the night here up in this tree all by myself? Wait, that looks like smoke. It is smoke. I can smell it. Well, we hope the forest is not on fire. Now I smell marshmallows and popcorn. Silly Pants, I think everything is going to be all right. And it was. He found the group that he was supposed to be camping with. But that shows you that when you have a schedule, sometimes you need to make sure you're on time because you could get left behind. Well, the last story that I have for you is A Camping Spree with Mr. McGee. This was written by Chris Van Duzen. A Camping Spree with Mr. McGee. Early one morning at 7:03, Mr. McGee and his little dog Dee packed up the camper and hitched up the load, hopped in the Rambler, and then hit the road. They drove to the mountains far from the sea for 2 nights of camping. Well, possibly 3. There's nothing like camping, said Mr. McGee. I know you will love it. Just you wait and see. The views are fantastic. There's hardly a sound. Aside from the wildlife, there's no one around. And air is so sweet, you'll sleep like a log, said Mr. McGee to his small spotted dog. A few hours later, they took a sharp right and found a great spot to lay camp for the night. It was high on a hill with a beautiful view of Mount Adams, Mount Lincoln, and Jefferson too. But perhaps the most wonderful feature of all was the brook that ran over a steep waterfall. Dee gathered pine cones and branches and logs. McGee made a campfire and cooked some hot dogs. And as the sun set behind far distant knolls, they sat roasting marshmallows over the coals. Sounds like a good time. As the embers went out, they felt tired and dozy, so they climbed in their bunks all comfy and cozy. But while they were falling asleep without care, along came a stumbling, bumbling bear. A kindly old bear whose sight wasn't so clear. He couldn't see far. Guess what? He couldn't see near. But he could smell marshmallows, sticky and sweet. The smell made him hungry. He wanted a treat. He sniffed out the place where the marshmallows lay, but the car and the camper were in the bear's way. Yet they didn't stop the sneaky old snitch. He simply tried squeezing right under the hitch. And as he was shimmying into the gap, he pushed up the hitch, which let go with a snap. Uh-oh. Now that the camper and car were untied, they started to roll down the rocky hillside. The car bounced away on the logging road while the camper was heading to where the stream flowed. It flew down the hill in a wild, bumpy ride with Dee and McGee sleeping soundly inside. They were snoring and snoozing, enjoying a dream, when splash went the camper right into the stream. Wow. The splash shook the camper. They bumped out of bed. Now, what in the world was that? McGee said. And when he looked out and saw where they were, his hair stood on end, and so did Dee's fur. They were caught in the rapids, but that wasn't all. They were headed smack dab for the big waterfall. Dee and McGee both started to quiver as faster and faster they headed downriver. But just when they thought they'd fall over the edge, their camper got stuck on a rock on the ledge. Whew. So they were there stranded, McGee and his pup, on the top of a waterfall 50 feet up. Meanwhile, that nearsighted bear from before was searching for one little marshmallow more, when lo and behold, as if out of a dream, he spied something sweet floating over the stream. But what the bear thought was a marshmallow tree was really the hitch and not something to eat. The bear was determined to capture his prize, so he jumped in the water right up to his thighs. He splashed through the stream to the edge of the fall and snatched up the trailer hitch, camper and all. Dee felt a tug. McGee heard a knock as the bear pulled the camper right off of the rock. When he realized the hitch was not sweet, but quite rank, he spit out the hitch and left in dismay. While McGee and Dee's camper again rolled away, it flew down the path with a jolt and a jar and stopped in some bushes right next to the car. Dee popped her head out. McGee looked out too. Had they really stopped rolling? Whew, could it be true? At last things were quiet and peaceful still. They hooked up the hitch and drove off down the hill. And on the way home, McGee said to Dee, "That trip wasn't quite like I thought it would be." So when they got home, with the sky turning red, they decided to camp in the backyard instead. So it looks like Mr. McGee and Dee had quite the adventure camping. You too could have a fun time camping, and I hope you do come in and see us so that we can do the summer reading program activity with you. But if not, tune in next time for our next pajama story time. This is Miss Pam at Lucama Public Library signing off. Have a great day and a great rest of the summer.